Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you should know that my son, he's done with his regular season games, my 7-year-old, but they are doing a little mini tournament, and they won 16-4 last night. He hit a single, a double, and an in the park home run. The kid was on fire, so I'm very proud of him. Now, you may think he's a better drawer than a baseball player, and we'll see. That might be true. I'm looking. He was so excited that you all liked his drawing of Steve Mnuchin so well that he now has taped all of his drawings all around my office. And so I'm looking at all sorts of drawings, and so he's pumped up now. Now, we need to decide what he's going to draw for Brad Garlinghouse. It may be a picture of Brad Garlinghouse, or I don't know. If I think of something funnier than that, then that's what we'll do. Okay, I have my television paused right now on Squawk Box on CNBC because Mike Novogratz is on there right now, but I wanted to get this video done because a lot of times when I have thoughts going through my head on things I want to say, I want to go ahead and do it, get it out of the way, and that way I don't forget what I was going to say. So the first thing I did is I tweeted out this morning, looks like Mike Novogratz, a Ripple shareholder, will be on CNBC this morning. Will he say the words XRP or Ripple without being asked for the first time? And I give this guy a hard time because he's never said anything that makes any sense to me about why a guy who is I don't care if he's an equity holder or not, why would a guy who is a Ripple shareholder not go out of his way to say good things about not just Ripple, but XRP too, because the things go hand in hand. I've seen I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I think it was an interaction with David Schwartz by someone on Twitter one time, and they were talking about, well, if someone is a Ripple shareholder, aren't they in essence also a holder of XRP? And in so many words, the answer was yes. Well, that's the thing that sticks in my craw about this guy. I can't figure out why he will not talk about Ripple or XRP at all. And he's never given a really good answer. And it doesn't make any sense that every time it comes up, he tries to change the subject or he's even said he doesn't understand why XRP would go up. And that defies logic. I've even challenged him on Twitter. I've challenged him on Twitter and said things like, well, how can you put a value on Bitcoin if you're trying to tie XRP's value to equity and how it would relate to that? And he knows that XRP is about utility, so it's a totally different animal. So anyway, it's not that I think the guy's a bad guy. That's not it. I think it's either that he's under NDAs or it's either a personality conflict. Maybe he doesn't like the people at Ripple now. Or maybe he's just that heavy in Bitcoin that he knows what all the other Bitcoin maxis know, which is that XRP is the one, and it could easily jump over Bitcoin in market cap, which I think would be a disaster for the Bitcoiners. Okay, enough on that. But again, I want to say I give him a hard time because I think this guy is. When I smell someone that's not really coming out and saying what the deal is, then sometimes it's hard for me to let go. In that way, I'm just a little like Sam I Am. Sam I Am is one of those guys. If something is not the truth and it's not right, man, you don't want to be on the wrong end of that. This guy, it will get you because he is a very factual guy and knows how to get really technical. He knows, and he's got that same kind of strain. It bugs. You can tell it just bugs him to let someone get away with saying something that's untrue or technically untrue or in any way is not accurate. And that's a good person to have on our side. But anyway, Mr. B sent me this. Now, there's a lot of things going on around that the Facebook hearings with Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, and I wanted to go through. Mr. B sent me a lot of this stuff, so to his credit, go give him a follow at XRP Mister. The first thing that he had sent me was this, and that is Congress. Now, think about how far we have come, folks. Congress, they mentioned XRP, and there's nothing better than the look on Mark Zuckerberg's face while he was being questioned. He looks like a guy who is sitting there going, "You jerks, if I could only say what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. I'm keeping my mouth." He's literally keeping his mouth shut because you know he wants to let them have it and tell them all how stupid he thinks they are. But in this clip, they're grilling him, and the congressman, and his name, I'll show you his name in a second, basically comes out right out and he says real cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. And for that, so now we're being mentioned in Congress by congressmen. They know, folks, they know XRP is the greatest digital asset ever created. They know it. That's been in my gut forever. They all know it. Ripple did the right thing going straight to regulators. That's the reason I chose XRP in 2013, because none of the other things made any sense. The only thing that made any sense to me is these smart, educated, connected guys that had made the decision to go straight to the regulators. It made sense then. It made sense in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and now in 19. It makes more sense than it ever did. It's the right thing. It was the right move. The people in the Bitcoin community that think they're going to have some kind of revolution and overthrow governments and then they're going to become wealthy, well, good luck with that, okay? And I'll go further into that in a few minutes. Okay, next, XRP Crypto will have commented on this. I love how U.S. Congressman, and this is the guy. And folks, to the community, I say this, anytime we see a congressman who is one of the good guys, who this guy obviously is, Representative Ted Budd, proudly serving the 13th District of North Carolina, give him a follow like I did. Support this guy, because these are the good guys who know what's going on and they have some foresight. You know, they're not the Bitcoms, okay? These are the guys who have read up on this and get it. So make sure you give them a follow and show your support to them. It says he recognized Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP as real cryptocurrency, unlike Facebook's Libra. I wonder if he's been talking to Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple about regulations for crypto, since Brad is always stating exactly what the congressman said. And then we had this. Brad Garlinghouse himself tweeted yesterday. Earlier today, Representative Ted Budd emphasized the importance of distinguishing between Libra and actual digital assets like XRP, BTC, Ethereum. He provided an excellent reminder the crypto industry should not be painted with one broad brush. Now, folks, I'm going to say something again that I want to make sure all of you get, because I see us all as being on a team of sorts. Because if we are XRP holders, I don't refer to us as the XRP Army, although the digital asset investor, I've been building my own little army. If you've noticed recently, I have an official Green Beret. I have an official Aussie Commando. I have a former Navy SEAL. I have an Army Ranger. I have a Marine who is not former, because Marines, once a Marine, always a Marine. But anyway, my point is that I don't refer to us as the XRP Army, but we kind of are. I mean, you wield in this community, you wield a lot. You can make things happen. We've seen it happen time and time again on Twitter and from YouTube, things that have been said or done. These people, we can get in front of them. And so when you see Brad Garlinghouse tweet out this representative's name, you need to go follow him. Go give him a thank you. I thought it showed. Oh, I must have not refreshed this. You need to go give him a thank you. Thanks for mentioning XRP and anything we can do to help along adoption of XRP and the acceptance of what it is as the greatest digital asset ever created. We need to do it. Retweet his tweets. Help him out. Anytime we see that kind of thing. Okay. And then this also was sent to me from Mr. B. Tim Griffin, a member in the audience and clearly a fan of XRP, asks Jay Clayton from the SEC Will the SEC rule on XRP, and when, if they will? Now, if you want to get anything out of this, Jay Clayton, as well as the last person we showed you that was asked about XRP that's in government, you'll hear more ho-hums and ums and You're going to hear more of that when he answers this question, when he makes an attempt to answer the question, than you will hear in anything you've ever heard Jay Clayton say. They will not say anything about XRP or Ripple. Will not. And I think that's a good sign, because meanwhile, they're going in and shutting up some companies down. And so for him to sit on stage, I mean, literally, it is going on record over and over and over with all these government officials. Hey, Ripple's been out there. They've been doing this. They've been selling XRP. All this has been out there. And so what kind of position would the SEC or any of these people be in to, after months and years of letting, what would they look like? Excuse me. I'm sorry, my throat. What would it make them look like? What kind of egg would be on their face for them to come out and do anything bad to Ripple or anything having to do with XRP months and years down the road when they didn't do anything and they were in a position to? That's what you need to understand. That's the reason I've never even worried about this issue. Okay. Then there was this controversy that came out of this yesterday. This is the DC FinTech Forum, and this also was sent to me from Mr. B. Linda, someone formerly in the Federal Reserve from the audience, congratulates Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse on 400 new customers, and she does that from the audience. Now, he doesn't say anything about it, but then I want you to see this. Brad Garlinghouse responds in Bank XRP's thread to this, which you don't see very often. I'm reluctant to comment on unsubstantiated rumors, sets a precedent that it'd be hard to live up to. But in this case, I missed the opportunity to correct the question on stage, so I'll do it here. We have not announced 400 customers. I did say we have about 400 employees. And then that's one of two. And then down here, he says, Ripple has publicly shared that we have more than 200 customers and are signing 2 to 3 production contracts per week. And we're very pleased with that traction. More to officially come on this soon. And so he corrected the record. He did not mean to acknowledge that there's 400 new customers. I wanted to get that out of the way. Let me get this going. All right. XRP Crypto, well, Colorado wants to help crypto companies get bank accounts. The goal is to get a bill to Colorado's lawmakers by December. Colorado is proposing a joint initiative with Wyoming, New Mexico, Arizona, and others to bring blockchain legislation to federal lawmakers. This is great. Colorado, I was telling my wife the other day, when all of this goes off, maybe Jackson Hole would be a nice place. No, Jackson Hole's Wyoming. Somewhere in Colorado might be a nice place to go with all their regulations and the way that I've always heard that Colorado is one of the coolest places. I said Jackson Hole because that's one of the next places I'm taking the fam to visit. I've always heard Jackson Hole is awesome, and I've never been there. So, all right, moving along. King Solomon, Accenture, SAP to use R3 Corda for central bank RTGS. Now, this could be a monster. All of these are Ripple partners. Create DLT platform interoperable with government payment systems. It will utilize currency tokens as a proxy for central bank fiat money. And he's showing you here in a slide replying to his own tweet. Ripple, Rice Bank, Ripple, and SAP. So, Ripple partners, Accenture, SAP, and R3. This guy's on fire all the time. Okay. Lord Lionel sent this out. This is funny. Let me refresh this. It's a poll. The poll is XRP community Bitcoin. Now that it's been confirmed the USA government is and has been shorting Bitcoin, will you continue to hold and buy Bitcoin? He's referring to that article I think I covered yesterday. The Giancarlo, he was the CFTC chairman, I believe. He had openly admitted that the Trump administration had created the Bitcoin futures to tank the market in 2017. Now, a lot of Bitcoin maxis came out after this announcement, and they were furious that the U.S. government would intentionally do that. Well, the fact that they were furious, this all illustrates a few very important points. The first is the baton that they've all been carrying about Bitcoin, those that are maxis and are talking revolution and, we're going to get the federal government and the central banks out of all that. Those that have been talking that way, I've said for a long time that is the type of thinking I would have had when I was 18, not 45, which is what I am now. I went with XRP because these guys were the smartest guys in the room. These were the smart guys that knew that you're not going to have this revolution. What you're going to have, you might have a revolution in finance, but it's not going to happen without governments and the, quote, powers that be. And all these guys who think that Bitcoin is going to somehow have some revolution and they're going to get rid of all of these powerful people, then you need to quit. You need to keep dreaming. By the time you're wealthy, you might be a corpse. That's the problem. I've said it on this channel before, and I'll say it again. Yes, this is a revolution. It's a revolution. It's a financial revolution. But here's the thing. If it's freedom, if it's true freedom you want, I've been alive for 45 years, and I know poor people, I know middle class people, and I know some of the wealthiest people in the world here in my town. Okay? And let me tell you what gets you freedom. You want freedom? Get freaking rich. Getting rich gets you all the freedom you need or want. Trust me on that. Because those people, they're up there where the air is clear and they're looking down on all of us. Some of them are humble, some of them are jerks. I have found it to be, ironically, that the wealthiest people I know are some of the nicest people I know, because a lot of them got there themselves. And the ones that get there themselves and didn't inherit it, usually those are the ones who understand how hard it is to get there, and they fully appreciate the struggle. Now, but back to XRP Bitcoin. Now, even though they admittedly manipulated Bitcoin, I think they're going to manipulate it on all sides. I think that's been going on in all investments for hundreds of years, and it always will go on. I think they manipulated it down, maybe for their own purposes. Who knows? It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm like Brad Garlinghouse. I think I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I have some Bitcoin. I'm bullish on all of it in the short to mid run. But when it comes to talk of revolutions and all of that, it's time to grow up, folks. You want to really get some freedom for yourself and your children and your family. Invest in XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created, which has aligned themselves with the regulatory bodies and the most powerful people in the world, and which has been in multiple rooms with the most powerful central bankers in the world, most powerful bankers in the world, the most powerful people in the world, and get wealthy off of it. Hold on to this stuff before anybody else ever really realizes it. Remember, if you hold XRP right now, you are in the top 0.5%, probably less than that, of the world population, folks, just by knowing about it. Not just investing it, by knowing about it. Just by knowing about it. We're in the right place at the right time, in not just your lifetime, in several lifetimes. This is not something I just say. This is something I've talked to some of the smartest people I know, smartest people I've met from starting this channel. I don't talk about it much, but I know for a fact there are Hollywood movie stars, billionaires, NBA stars, you name it. They listen to this channel. Now, do I think that's insane every day of my life? The idea that people like that would be listening to me? Yeah, I do. I scratch I turn to my wife all the time and say, this blows my mind. I don't have any idea how this happened, but I am telling you, this is not just me saying this stuff. There are a lot of people out there that are way more sophisticated than you and I who believe exactly what we're talking about. Because what I do and what I do best is I show you the evidence that is in your face every day. So keep tuning in, because I'm not going anywhere except to swell. Okay. XRP Vegas, at Funky Bad Chad, sent me this, and I thought this was great. Bakkt's monthly Bitcoin futures skyrocketed to nearly $5 million in trading volume yesterday. Now, like I just said, the manipulation of Bitcoin and XRP, all these things, it's going to go both ways, okay? They're going to do, this is going to happen. At some point, this market is going to be so huge that they won't be able to manipulate it the way they can today. But, like I've told you before, holding now and the guts that it takes to hold through these massive percentage ups and downs, that's a part of what it is to have the 1,000, 10,000, 30,000% potential upside without these stomach hurting down days and the high percentage ups and downs on days and weeks and months. Without that, you're not going to be eligible to have these massive percentage gains, because you got to be willing to take those kind of things. You got to be able to willing to just turn your head and not look at what's going on at times. Okay. Bob Moneybags, I wanted to show everybody this. He's at Fake Coin Expert. I'm honored to announce that the XRP Zoo will be conducting an interview with John McAfee on Tuesday, October 29th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is something we will be looking forward to. If anyone has questions for John, I'll try to select a few and ask on behalf of you. Can't wait. And John McAfee, anytime somebody's doing something with him, I love it, because I think he's the perfect icon for the maybe the Bitcoin maximalist rogue guy. It's great. He's like his own movie, and somebody needs to make a movie about John McAfee. But anyway, anytime he's covered, I think it's worthy of showing you. So go watch the XRP Zoo on this thing. I think McAfee is going around promoting his new what does he call it? McAfee Dex or something like that. All right, now for all of you who, many of you don't like the title thing, so if you don't like me talking about this, that's fine. Don't listen now. But this guy embodies the spirit of why I do the titles on this channel. It's all in good humor, folks, okay? Because I think good humor is a good part of what has built my channel. But this guy embodies it. As you'll know, he's the first guy to get 2 titles on my channel. He is the official sinecure and Green Beret to the Digital Asset Investor channel. He's got it in his title. This is the way we like to do it. Now, for those of you that don't know, I love this first one. He asked me if he could be the sinecure. And a sinecure, it says a position requiring little or no work, but giving the holder status or financial benefit. I love that title. So he's very clear about how he's not willing to do anything for the channel to help me on the channel as the official sinecure. He says, but he told me in a direct message. He said, but as the official Green Beret, I can help you in any way you need me to help you and give you any kind of advice you need. So he's completely worthless to me and is not willing to work or do anything as the official sinecure. But as the Green Beret, he's going to be very helpful to the channel moving forward. That, my friends, is the kind of humor I can dig. And next, let's give out another title here this is Rocket Roy. I have talked to Rocket Roy, and he is literally a former rocket scientist. And he's got a picture here with him in front of the shuttle Atlantis to show you. And there's also a picture down here that I found of him. I guess that's him and his family. He's with the shuttle Atlantis. I guess he worked on the shuttle Atlantis. But he wants to be the official former rocket scientist of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Now that is cool. We've got all kinds of military guys. I mean, we're building an army here. We've got all kinds of military guys, and now we've got a rocket scientist. We're about to take on the world. I'm the Digital Asset Investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that there is no digital asset channel or Bitcoin or blockchain channel that has an official former rocket scientist for their channel. Only mine. Thank you for listening.